Experience has come to me. It has come to me in a very delightful way. I did not seek it out in any rational sense. It just arrived on its own, and I bathed in its beauty, in the essence of who I am that was revealed in that experience. So I look at that as an understanding of my own perfect nature. It showed up when I was a young boy, and it enveloped me in a most beautiful way. And I'm very glad to have had that experience and to be able to recount today that experience. It's a feeling of great beauty, and it's been the subject of years and years of meditation and many discussions and many podcasts now. But it's important for me to say that I did not lead with anything else other than my experience. So there have been no texts. There have been no bolstering documents, as it were. There are some which I have leaned on as affirmation of my own experience, but in the end, it comes down to my experience. That's the subject of my meditation. Sometimes I've started my meditations with a bias or an agenda in mind, but inevitably, those fall away, and what I'm left with, happily, is the experience I've had with the divine in my life. And I like it that way. I like it because it simplifies things. I'm not the originator of that experience. It's sort of like the law. It comes to us. It wasn't something that we developed as a result of who we are. It was not something that humankind concocted. It's a state of fact that these laws came to us, the laws of Noah and the Decalogue, the Ten Commandments. They came to us. It's a comforting thing to know that we did not originate, we are not the source of such things. It gives me a lot of comfort that humankind has had essentially no role in the development of the laws of Noah or the Decalogue. Really feels pretty good, actually, that I'm not responsible. So there is no foundational text to today's talk. It's about experience, and the experience of what I call perfect nature. As perfect nature is the revelation of the essence of who we are. And it's a feeling, it's intimate, it's very close and deep, and it's where I find myself going to and starting from in every single case. There's really not a lot to say in some ways. What there is an experience and an unfolding of that experience in my obedience to the experience that I've had. So what is it that the experience tells me about who I am? What has been my meditation? Well, my meditation has been that my nature is perfect. Is my obedience perfect? Well, no, but my nature is quite perfect. It's suitable. So my nature is clear to me. Now I totally understand the division of good and evil and the introduction of mortality and death, the beast in all of us. But that does not necessarily mean that that is our actual nature, as we are able to determine it. We are able to, by our obedience, call forth our perfect nature and live in it in a manifested way. And that means that although we are not perfect in our obedience to our calling, our nature is in fact perfect and pure as it is. Are we obedient to it? Well, not really. Am I obedient to it? Oh, hardly ever. But nevertheless, it is the standard that I can keep and that I can look to and lean into in every case. And that's the circumstance of the world we live in today. There's a lot of attempts to confuse and belittle the nature of who we are so that we will be confounded. We will be disillusioned. We will be deterred from our quest to be obedient to that nature which is present in us. Because malicious forces, malicious beings find that in their interest to dissuade us from our obedience. And it doesn't take any kind of, textual or authoritative verse to make that so. It is so. I don't need anything to know what is my perfect nature. I can look inside and understand it. I can do it. I can be it. It's hard in some ways. And it's not meant to be easy, which is the thing that I find most poetic and really fulfilling in a way, that it is a difficult thing, a struggle. Like so many struggles that we have, whether it's, the struggle to plant a rose, dig the darn hole. Where I am, there's just nothing but rocks. So it is a real work to plant anything. Or the exertions of getting in shape and being trim and fit. It takes a lot of work. It takes concentration. And in that experience then of concentration, it means action. And that's really the byline of this podcast, is taking action. Even if the action is not a perfect action, our nature is perfect enough in this manifestation to be able to know whether what we do is right. It's perfect enough to know what we can do and what we do is right. And then in that moment of experience to say, well, I'm going to then do something different. I'm going to go a different path. I'm going to take a different course. And in that taking of a different course, there is an obedience there that is so valuable and so connecting to the divine hierarchy, because the divine hierarchy is cheering as we say yes to the divine and no to this world. And that's the fine thing, the fun thing, to be able to say no. And it's all around us, so we get to say no a lot. And I like that. And I hope each of you will learn to say no and learn to say yes in a chorus or a harmony that aligns us with the divine. Amen.